がここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバンこの国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue the long-standing tradition of covering Japan's favorite boxing son, Naoya Monster Inoue. It's your boy BT, Brennan Taylor, True School Sports, the #1 source for Japanese boxing in America. From an American, arigato gozaimasu to everyone watching the video around the world, and ayete okata, nice to see you guys again. So listen, man, Nick Ball, he recently fought. He defended his title once again against TJ Doheny, a former Inoue opponent, former opponent of the Monster. And in a way, the Monster reacted to this. He went on Twitter and he said the following, and I quote, "That ball is funny, but don't kick it," right? So then Ball responded to Inoue and he said, "When you're ready to kick it at 126 pounds, you go ahead and you let me know." So Nick Ball's letting him know, like, listen, man, when you want that smoke, I'll be here waiting for you, right? So Nick Ball also said, "Let's make it happen and find out then." And then Inoue told Nick Ball simply, "Until that day comes, let's increase each other's value." So he's pretty much saying, like, you just keep winning, you do your thing, you win your fights, I win my fights, and then we can go ahead and make these fights happen. So yeah, it's fully expected that the Monster's first opponent at featherweight will be Nick Ball. This has been discussed. This has been talked about with Hideki Ohashi and the promoters in Japan. Listen. He's warning Nick Ball. Listen, Nick Ball, I think like I said, he's very good in his style. Like he's very good at what he does. He's very good at being rugged. He's very good at pushing fighters back and making things very hard on them. A lot of volume comes from Nick Ball. And he uses his height, which people will look at as a disadvantage, as an advantage for him. But, you just go and you watch the Ronnie Rios fight, you watch the Doheny fight. These guys are not natural featherweights. These guys are not high-level featherweights, for being honest. And they both had their fair share of success. Ronnie Rios, I think, had a lot of success when he fought Nick Ball, punching in between the shots at mid-range. At times pushing Nick Ball back, but he's a little older, long in the tooth. He's a bit like, he's old, so he couldn't really throw the punches to keep Nick Ball at bay. And then Doheny has a lot of experience. He can box, and he had a lot of success boxing and moving and countering Nick Ball. But again, he doesn't throw the kind of volume nor punching power to keep Nick Ball honest. Now, luckily for that man right there, the Monster Inoue, he does have the volume to keep Nick Ball honest. And Nick Ball has to find a way to make this fight as uncomfortable as possible for Inoue, because look, he's not going to outbox from the outside. That's not really what Nick Ball does. You know what you're getting. One thing about Nick Ball, he's very consistent in his fighting style and his approach to the ring. They call him the wrecking ball. So he's gonna be in Inoue's chest. He's gonna be looking to push the Monster back. He's gonna be looking to outwork him. And I do feel like, right, because there are some fighters that I think could beat the Monster at featherweight. I think one of the characteristics you need to have to beat the Monster, if we're looking at, like, how do you beat the Monster? How do you beat probably one of the hardest fighters to beat in boxing right now? How do you beat him, let alone compete? One of the things I feel a fighter needs to be able to do is have an exceptional work rate, the ability to throw a high output and a high volume of punches. That's the one thing Nick Ball does very well. Now, defensively, he leaves things to be desired. You can sharpshoot and punch in between the shots of Nick Ball, and he's very one-dimensional. Like, you're gonna get what you get with him. So it's either you can handle the pressure and you can handle the volume, or you can't, right? So I'm excited to see this fight with Ball in a way. Like, now that I've gotten past my feelings of wanting to see Inoue versus certain fighters, when they do fight, the really intriguing part about the fight for me, because as you guys can see, I'm watching the Inoue marathon behind me, right? And I'm watching it in slow motion. I've been doing this for like 2 hours while I've been sitting here making these videos. I've been having Inoue playing behind me, the Monster behind me, right? One thing I noticed about a lot of the fights with the Monster is that a lot of these fighters, they give him a ground. They allow Inoue to come forward and push them back, and see, with Nick Ball, with him having such a low center of gravity, and with Nick Ball having such a high work rate, I think there's going to be pockets of that fight where the Monster will not be pushing Nick Ball back. And so I think, and the Monster is taller than Nick Ball. So I think the Monster is going to have to show something a little different in that fight. And it might look a little different. And he may have to box on his back foot a little bit, which I'm very intrigued to see how he does that. So it is a good fight. It is a solid fight. I still stand on what I say. I still think Nick Ball is the most beatable of the featherweight champions. But because of the styles, because of the matchup, because of what he does well, and what the Monster would have to adjust to, that makes it an intriguing matchup, you know, from an objective, stylistic standpoint. So yeah, good fight. But yeah, that's the news. It happened, you know, over a week ago, but I never had a chance to talk about it. But Inoue says, look, man, I have 2 fists. That should be enough. You know, I don't need to kick you. 2 fists are enough for me to knock you out. So I will be putting these hands and feet on you if you got problems with me. But anyway, that's the news. Inoue, the Monster, he's sending Nick Ball a very short but equally stern warning, and we build closer and closer towards not just the Monster versus Nick Ball and all the other champions at featherweight, but also the Monster versus Ramon Cardenas. You know, his fight on American soil as, you know, a star and an attraction at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. So God willing, I'll be there, and you know, it'd be nice to meet some of you guys out there. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you guys think about the Monster's comments, Nick Ball's comments, all that good stuff? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you click right over here.